The first time readers of poetry read a poem, they read it through to get a sense of the overall meaning. Later, they return to unknown words and phrases and unlock their meaning. When we read a new poem for the first time, we may come across some new words or phrases we have never seen before. It's important not to let those new words or phrases hold us up from uncovering the overall meaning of a poem. We continue reading because we often realize that we know more than we thought. Unlocking the meaning behind words or phrases is not difficult because we use what we already know. As we work today, you will need to watch this video, but you will also need this page, Clues to Unlock Meaning, What Do We Know? Today, we are going to read one poem from A Mirror to Nature by Jane Yolen. This poem is titled A Solitary Cockle. This book is very unique because it is the product of a collaboration between an author and a photographer, Jason Stemple. That means we get to see beautiful pictures that inspired the author, like this one. The author also gives us some interesting information about each poem's subject, information that may help us unlock each poem's meaning. Here's some extra information from the author. Cockles, often mistaken for clams, are members of the Cardidae family. Like clams, they have two valves, or shells, connected by a hinge joint. Cockles have a foot with which they can burrow in the sand. As I read aloud, I want you to consider what you think the poem is about. What new information is it giving us? Based on the background information on this page, the photograph, and the title, we know that this poem is about a cockle. Now have this page handy because we will start taking notes together. I'm going to show you the photograph again, and when I do, I want you to pause the video and take notes on this part. What do you know about cockles based on the photograph? Something I learned from the photograph is that they look like seashells and they live in water. We're going to do that again, but now I want you to answer this question. What do you know based on the information provided at the bottom of the page? So I'll show you that next. Make sure you pause your video and write down what you learned. We learned a lot from that section. We learned that cockles are often mistaken for clams. Cockles have two valves or shells, and cockles have a foot to burrow or hide in the sand. Now we're going to read the poem all the way through. A solitary cockle. Oh, to be a solitary cockle, sitting silent in reflection, somewhat open to the moment, somewhat into introspection. Never needing to be acting, never having to be hammy, just a solitary bivalve in the water, silent, clammy. What new information did we learn about cockles? I'm going to show you the poem one more time. I want you to pause the video and fill in your notes what you learned. What is this poem really about? So what is this poem really about? What did we learn? We learned that cockles sit silently in the water and they're happy to sit and reflect. So today we were able to figure out what the overall meaning of the poem is. We also learned something new about the topic. By using the pictures, different text features, and by reading the poem, we are able to unlock the overall meaning of a poem. Now it's your turn. You are going to do the same thing we just did with a poem about raccoons. You will read the poem Raccoons and then complete the Google form. So be sure to look at the photograph, use the background information, and then read through the poem in order to unlock the meaning of the poem.